I'm excited to share with you Google Drive in the classroom. Hi, everybody. I'm Meg Ormiston. I am a former classroom teacher. I write books. I was a school board member. I am passionate about teaching and learning with digital tools. And please jot down my email address. You are welcome to contact me. Any questions, just need a little hand holding. You just let me know. I'm here for you. This is different than any of the other modules that you might have watched. This one was designed because teachers begged me, please just make something as if you're sitting next to me and you're showing it to me. So that's exactly what I tried to do. What I would strongly encourage, first of all, if there's any chance that you can do this with somebody else, that always helps clarify things. The second thing that would help is if you can possibly have two different devices. So if you could watch the presentation on one screen and do what I'm saying on the other screen. We learn, just like our kids, we learn by doing. So if you can do that, that's a great setup. iPad, laptop, whatever you have, that would really help. So this is very different. I'm actually going to be kind of guiding you through step by step by step. And I have bubbles and I have all different things, and it's all going to make sense. But I encourage you, stop, process, try, practice, and of course, contact me if you have any questions. And there's great help that I will also point you to. So, Google Drive. I love Google Drive, and let me tell you why. Google Drive was designed that everything, all of your files, all your applications, and your files can be accessed from any machine that can access the internet. And so, Google Drive, I think they're playing on flash drive. Think about it as your flash drive in the sky. It's anywhere that you can get to the internet. That's where your information is. So when you open up Google Drive, so there's two ways you can really access Google Drive. You might have a personal Gmail account. That's all your personal stuff outside of school. But for your school stuff, you will have your own drive. So you want to make sure that if you're dealing with school stuff, log in with your school login. And to log in, go to Google. In the upper right-hand corner, it says sign in, sign in. And then if you look in the upper right-hand corner, I call that, I don't know, with that little grid, I call it the waffle. And you click on the waffle, and there's a triangle that says Google Drive. And that's what you want to go ahead and access. And so in Google Drive, you're going to open it up, and this is what you're going to see. So let's kind of understand the bones of Google, because it'll make so much more sense as we move through this. So let's start with A. A on the side is kind of your main menu, your main everything. And that's where you're going to create, you're going to organize, you're going to upload. Now, you are not going to start from scratch. You can upload, if you already have 20 years of stuff, you can go ahead and upload it to Google Drive. So we don't have to start from scratch. Google Drive can read virtually any type of file format. That's really cool. So this kind of left bar is your real navigation place. Look in the middle, we have B. This is where all your files will live. And this is where you can search for their files. You can create folders. I hope this is what yours looks like, because mine is a mess. I just would make files. I never put them in folders. I need a major housekeeping, cleaning in a lot of ways. All right, so that's A, that's B. Let's take a look at C. If you look to the far right, you can turn this on and you can turn this off. But this is where we can see details, activities, and settings. Here's the great thing to understand. When you work in Google Drive, nobody can be anonymous. Everything you do is kind of your name on it, if you'd imagine that. You can see on the right, I commented, I did this, I did this. Everything has your name on it, which is great, because then you can see who did the work, you can see who made changes. If somebody makes a major mistake and deletes the document you've been working on for a week, no problem. We can change it and fix it in the revision history, which I will show you. So we have A, B, C, and now D is in the upper right-hand corner. This is Google Plus integration. Now, Google Plus was an attempt to have a social piece to Google Drive, but there's been some talk that there's going to be some pretty major changes to Google Plus. So we're not going to spend a lot of time there because we don't know what the changes are going to be. But that's what the kind of upper right-hand corner thing is going on there. So pause me now, take a look at your drive, and make sure that you can identify your ABC, you can find everything. Most importantly, can you get into your drive? And that way you can keep up with me. So feel free to pause me now. Go ahead and do that. And if you did pause me, welcome back. And let's talk about getting started in here. On the far left, you saw that the new, see where it navigates, you see that now? Now all I did was blow out the new, so you can kind of take a look what's there. Now mine probably looks very different from yours because I've been working in this environment for years and years, and all those things over to the right, I have added on. You can connect things to Google Drive, and that's called connecting apps to Google Drive. But we're not going to get into that now. You don't have to worry about that for now. Your mess doesn't have to look like my mess. So now we're going to create, the mode we're in now is the create, the organize, and the upload. You're going to start here to create or upload folders. So once you click on that red, the new button, then it goes and opens the file pull-down menu. Google recently changed it to new. There's two formats kind of floating around out there. Yours might say create. Same thing, just click on it. They're both red. That was nice for Google not to make that change. And then this is where we connect more apps. You can browse the collection. We can go ahead and take a look at all different things, but I'm going to cover that right at the end. I'm going to share kind of some of my favorites with you. So yours probably just has docs, sheets, slides, forms, and drawings right now. All right. Now, create a new document. Okay, this is key. I can't tell you how many times I've been lost in Google Drive, mainly because mine is a disorganized mess. I'm really hoping yours is you really haven't been using it too much and it's not a mess like mine is. But let's just kind of get a sense of what this is. So if you want a new document, I showed you what that looks like on the last screen. That is where you pick out, what you want within Google Drive. Oops, now we'll get back to where we were. Sorry about that. All right, now shared with me. The essence of Google Drive and why it's different is the ability to share documents. You can share a document or you can share an entire folder. But this whole idea of sharing is really kind of the big concept of Google Drive. In the past, you might have been using Microsoft Word. Sharing could really only be done is if I made the document, I emailed it to you, you made your changes, you emailed it back to me, and that's really all you could do is share. This is a completely different model. This is I create the document and I share the document with you. Now, the big picture of this is there's one document. There's not my revision, your revision, and our principal's revision. It is one document where all of our work is all within that same document. So we're virtually all on the same page. That's the shared with me part. And we'll go deeper in that, especially as we go through these different modules. Google Photos is brand new and it just within the past week, which is interesting because Google Photos used to be embedded with Google Plus that I mentioned was they're reorganizing and part of it's going away. So now all of a sudden, whoop, Google Photos is here. So I don't know really what's going on yet, and I don't think any of us will know yet. Now this happened to me just today. Now I am a power user of Google Docs, but I made a form and I lost it and I could not find it, and I didn't have a chance yet to name the document, so I couldn't search for it. But luckily, I remembered to look in the recent documents. So if that happens to you and you lose something, don't worry, it's still there. Sometimes it's in a different view, or it gets embedded into a folder, but I was able to find it by going to recent. Okay, so that's kind of the anatomy. That stays the same in a lot of the different things like Google Docs and Sheets. So within Google Drive, the applications that you have word processing, spreadsheets, presentation, forms, love it, and Google Drawing. So all those things are part of Google Drive. And so those are like the applications. And then your documents are also organized within the Drive environment. Now, this is my messy drive. Yours is going to be so much better than this. But this is my drive. Let's talk kind of the anatomy of this. And first, now we're talking about searching files. Before we were organizing, now we're searching files and folders. First, the search within Google. I can't tell you how many times this has saved me. It is a great search for documents, far superior than anything I've ever seen on a PC or Mac to search for files. I can actually find things by using this search. So the search is always across whatever application within Drive you're in, it's always right there at the top. This was new to me. I can't believe it. Here I am, power user, and there is an advanced search within Google Drive. There's a little arrow. They hit it pretty well. But on the end of the search drive, there's a little arrow, and you pull it down, and you can do an advanced search. That really helps. If I don't remember the exact title, welcome to my life, I forget the title, but I remember maybe a phrase or a piece of research I was working on, I can go ahead and put that in the advanced search. And I've got to tell you, when I played with it, I was like, wow, where have you been all my life? All right, this is really important. Do you see where it says that column is who owns that document? The owner of the file or the folder. You can see this is my drive, so I own almost everything within there. But let's take a look. Kathy Fisher, she made the 1314 Instructional Technology folder. Awesome. She owns that folder. And so that is great. She shared it with me. That's why I'm seeing it in my drive. But the only time you really care about this owner if Kathy's lucky enough to retire this year. If she is, we'd have to go and transfer the ownership. But let's not worry about that right now. I just want you to kind of see that who owns it. And this really helps if I remember the last time I worked on it. Like you can see what I did today and other dates. So that the time and date really help me when it comes to organization. All right, now let's take a look at details, the activities, and the settings. Now remember, I said nobody can be anonymous within Google. You can't be anonymous and your students can't be anonymous. Because your school district is a Google Apps for Education district, everybody has their own unique username. And so when you work in a document, your name is basically on the work. Sharing settings. Always look for the little person and the plus. That's where we go into the sharing. And we'll go much more in depth in sharing in the next module. The next module is about Google Documents. That's probably the most important one to go. That's probably the one you use the most, the documents. So I go deep in that module into the sharing settings there. Now this was new to me. I can't believe it. I've been using it forever. And that was new to me that with the more, there is even more options. And again, we go into that a lot more in depth in some of the other modules, but it just opens up more features. This is the view. Sometimes I like to see pictures because then it'll help me remember what the document looked at, but sometimes I need a list. And so that's where the view is. Lots of different things that you can change within your settings. Some your district kind of has control over the what you have access to, but you can make a lot of changes within your settings. Now, there's details. That's exactly what you're looking at below. These are details. You can turn them on or turn them off. I only show details when I've lost something, where I can't remember who was working on a document or something like that. So I usually hide my details just to give me more space to take a look at things. And this one, again, underutilized, I should be using this more, that I can sort from A to Z. That would certainly help me if I remember the title of what I named something. So the details, the activities, and the settings, there's a lot there to help you kind of navigate. Now, you are not alone out here in the world of Google. There's different things that you can add to your apps. That's why way at the beginning, my list was way longer than yours because I've connected a whole bunch of things to Google Drive. We go much deeper into this in some of the other modules. So don't worry about that at this point. I just wanted to point it out that basically these are third parties, other companies that are making apps within the Google Drive environment. Some of them are awesome, like WeVideo that you see right there. And we talk about that at another point. Now, there's apps, Google Drive add-ons for education. This is my friend Vicki Davis. She is awesome. Her Twitter name is Cool Cat Teacher, which I love. And she has given us her 15 favorite add-ons for education. Although you don't need to do that right now, I just want you to know it's there, and I also want you to know that you have the link on your handout to these resources. So you can come back, and when you're ready, you can come back to that. For a lot of you, I'm assuming this might be kind of your introduction to Google Drive. The only way you're going to get better at Google Drive is if you play and work and try. You're going to make mistakes, we all do, but that's okay. I want you to go ahead and explore. Now, I have another great resource for you, and this one is new to me. She's awesome. Her name is Cassie Bell. She is from Texas, and her Shake Up Learning is chock filled with resources, cheat sheets for every part of Google Drive, and videos and resources. Today I was reading her email newsletter, and I'm like, I didn't know that, and that. She taught me 3 brand new things this morning. So love her resources. This is also on your resource list. So this was, of course, just a splash intro to Google Drive. If this is brand new to you, go back, play it again, and just make sure that you understand kind of how it's organized. Because then, as you go on to the next modules, you will see like how Google Docs fits underneath it and how slides and sheets also fit underneath it. So it makes more sense now that you've kind of have the baseline with Google Drive in the classroom. Thanks for joining me today.